All right. Hello, everyone. So we are here, and it is the first time actually that we are going to release a video of the podcast. So if you're one of our YouTube watchers, you'll get to see us. So yeah, this is our setup. This is how we do this.
This is it. I feel like you can see the window in front of me with my glasses, so I won't wear those. Yeah, this is it. Well, I'm located in northern Minnesota, Duluth, Minnesota, in the middle of the pines on a lake, and it's the most wonderful place to be in the whole world, except for our winters are about 11 months long. So we get maybe a month where we don't see snow. So that part's a little ridiculous. I am open to house sit anybody that lives in the southern states from about January to April. I have 2 dogs and they will come with me, but we are great and we're casual and we will house sit for you. So, Eleni, where do you live?
Get us out of the snow.
Yes, please. My gosh.
So if you haven't put a voice to a face, so that was Shannon, and I am Eleni, and I am actually in Canada. So ironically, I live in the Great White North, but I don't get as much snow and cold as Shannon does. So I'm in Southern Ontario. I'm pretty close to Toronto, actually. That's a good reference for most people. And yeah, we had like a fake spring, a fake summer, right in the middle of spring. Last week it was like 28 degrees, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. And it was gorgeous and amazing. And now the kids do not want to wear jackets to school. And I'm like, you guys, this is actual spring. So yeah, we're at that.
Right. Yes, we had a fake spring as well last week. For about 4 or 5 days, it was anywhere from 50 to 75 degrees, sunny, did yoga out on my deck next to the frozen lake. It was amazing. I'm excited to do it again, but we are actually hunkering down right now as our next front comes in. So it's Wednesday right now, Wednesday night all the way till Friday. We are expecting snow and freezing rain, and yeah, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm officially over winter.
Yeah, I've been done with it for a while. All right, but back to the core. So the core actually started, it was almost an accident. So I don't know who found who first on Instagram, but we connected on Instagram. I don't know who did what.
I don't know either.
Yeah, we connected on Instagram and we started trading off information for our followers and our clients. So we did a few guest appearances and each other's some workshops that we had. It all started with an interview for a series that I was doing. I interviewed you for the fitness part of it. And then we had some of this stuff. We actually tried out a group program, which we found that it wasn't something that we wanted to invest. And then we landed on the podcast, which is what we really, really love to do. And I actually opened all of our stats and it's super interesting.
Oh, I'm so jazzed to hear all about it.
So since we started publishing now, last year, 2022, we started May 2022, and we only posted every other week. So this year we've been publishing every week, but we've had over 1,000 downloads only on our. So there is the podcast platform, and there's also YouTube. So all of this is just the podcast. It's not the YouTube. That's other numbers. But we've had over 1,000 downloads of podcast episodes, which is really, really fun.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. People are mostly listening on their computers, which to me is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So on apps, that's the most listened to, but mobile is like the top category where people listen. But even on the mobiles, it seems to be through a web app. I think it probably has to do with we post a lot to the podcast page, right? So that's where people listen to the most. And after that, it's Apple Podcasts. just not surprising.
I'll take it. And two, I feel like we both are on the same page with this. We're both very open to ideas. Like, is there
Yeah,
something in particular with nutrition that you're like, I just want some more information, or can you bust a myth? Same thing with fitness. I mean, we have endless ideas, I feel like, Ailene and I, but we love targeting what do you need though? Like, what
yeah.
are you interested in? Because we are the professionals and we know what we're talking about. So what do you need from us? So
And
ideas
sometimes
are
what
always
we're
welcome.
interested in is a bit different, right? Because
Right.
we've been doing this for so long, and you even longer than I have, that sometimes what interests us for some people is like, I don't care.
I don't care about the planes of motion, Shannon. I want to know how to
What are you
breathe.
telling me this? But yeah, so it's fun. It's fun too. And yes, if you have ideas, if you have suggestions, if you know us personally, just tell us or just send us a message in any one of the social things that are on the on the comments of the episode. Now, another fun thing is where our listeners are,
Mhm.
which is surprising to me. Now, of course, the bulk of it, not surprising, 93% of our listeners are US and Canada. And of course, that makes sense because that's where we are. But we have people in South America, in Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. We have some people in Asia. I have to go down here to see exactly where that would be. And we have some people in Europe. Europe actually more than Asia. So number one is North America. Number two, we have people in Europe. And that's UK, Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Portugal. It's super
Oh my
fun.
gosh. Honestly, my heart is so big right now. I am so grateful and appreciative of all of that support. That's amazing. I
It's
feel
amazing.
when you become like an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, you're like, if I can help one person, like that
Yes.
would be great. If I can impact one life, like that's amazing. But here we are with 1,000 downloads, and hopefully that can continue to grow and we can continue to educate and impact some more females' lives.
And thank you so much to all of you that are listening from all these places. And we would love to hear from you. To send us a message, write a comment, because this is super fun for us. We love what we do. But it's funny because also when you start on these journeys, it's all about like, tell your family and friends. And you kind of in the back of your mind, it's like it's only my family and friends, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
no, this little map here, it really shows us that it's not just our family and friends. There's a lot of other people there, and we are so incredibly grateful that you show up and that you listen, and hopefully that you are getting some good advice through all of this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like you said, it would be so fun for some of you to reach out. Like, where are
Would
you
love
from?
that.
And what's your story too? I love hearing people's stories. I
Yes.
mean, like, because we're all going through something, right? Or we've all been through something to get to where we are today. And I just love hearing people being resilient and consistent. No journey is a linear line. So, who's helped you? What strategies have helped you overcome those obstacles that you've had? So, share with us who you are, what your story is. Are you still really
Yes.
working on your journey? That type of thing. So, I mean, that's the stuff that like lights us up. I know it is because you and I both have a story
Yeah.
and we are still on our journey. Our journey never really ends. So, that stuff is fun to listen
It's
to.
it's super fun. So now this is what we talked about talking about. And so this is fun. So our most listened to episode through the our podcast hosting site. Again, I'm not talking about YouTube, but our most listened to episode. Can you? What would you guess? What would you
I'm
guess it
gonna
is?
I'm going to guess. I have three guesses.
Okay.
One of my guesses is all about Ailene.
Okay.
Another guess is going to be one that you did. There's a few, well, all of yours have been great, but I know that there's a few that ranks up there. Maybe I gained weight. Is it fat
Okay.
or something about the scale? And then gym anxiety is going to be my number third guess or my third
Okay, our
guess.
number one most downloaded podcast episode is gym anxiety.
Oh, okay.
People
So
love
we
that.
have a niche here.
People, and I feel like this is really something, and it's interesting because we just recorded it. It's coming out, right? We just recorded a podcast on food anxiety. And
Hmm.
it really, I'm interested to see, based on other things that are high on the listening rate. That's also something that will probably resonate a lot. But I really feel like this is something that we can dig a little deeper into.
Yes.
And, people have still been listening to it. It's not, so Gym Anxiety was released almost 11 months ago. So almost a year. It was one of the first ones. And it still gets a little bit of traction. So that was a really, really good one. And you guys, if you haven't listened to that one yet, it's a popular one. So this is season 1, episode 6, Gym Anxiety. Now, number 2, hazard a guess.
I'm still gonna go with yours for All About Ailene. I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. So number 2 was intuitive eating,
Oh,
which
cool. Oh,
didn't
good.
actually surprise me much. So that's season 1, episode 8, another episode that I would love to dig a little deeper into. But you're right. The All About Us episodes, which was season 1, 12, and 13, all about Shannon and all about Aline, these are tied for number 3.
Okay.
So they got the same amount of views. So those are the biggest ones: gym anxiety, intuitive eating, and talking about us. People liked to hear about us.
That is absolutely amazing to me because those are definitely areas that you and I can dig deeper into.
Yes. And also, isn't it fun that we always talk about, and this isn't on the recordings, you guys, but we always talk about this, like how we genuinely feel that we are doing better at this podcasting thing, and that, it's gotten easier for us. We're better prepared. We're formatting things a little better, but still, like, the most listened to episodes are still there in the initial seasons, right? In the beginning of season 1, I mean. So that's fun. And then we have a mishmash of the other ones. On average, we get about the same amount of downloads for each episode. It's just these two that really had a big difference. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, that you really do like and you want to keep hearing about, I think that's definitely things that we can dig into a little more. Gym anxiety is such a big one for people. I feel like it might be getting a little better now post COVID. Things are definitely feeling a little more normal. So I think people are a little more comfortable going to the gym, but at the same time, we've changed so much. So it's still hard to go back in. So that's definitely something that we can help you guys just go past that first, like, what do I do? What do I do when I get there? And you've mentioned so many times that the trainers, you want to help people, right? You want to support people.
Keep
But
us busy.
even that first conversation, right? Like when you get into a gym, what do you ask? And how do you get past maybe comparing yourself to that trainer that's working there, and you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, if only I looked like that. And how do you get past all this stuff, right? So that's definitely, there's a lot to unpack there. And with intuitive eating as well, because it's something that touches so much on our relationship with food, our anxieties around food, our preconceptions around food. Like there's so much listening to our own body. There's just so much that goes into everything. So yeah, that's those are definitely things. And our stories. I mean, I
Oh,
just did
yeah.
a post today that, because I had it calculated in the longest time. I lost 28 pounds. And
Wow.
I've kept it off for years now. And when I went to write that down, I was like, ooh, a lot has happened in this time.
So, and it's your proof that it's possible.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. And I think that's great for our listeners to know, that side of your journey too, and that it wasn't easy to get there or to maintain and I mean, it's just, even if we think that we're having a good day, I mean, we still have our moments for sure and our days around our emotions. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a lot
I
going
mean,
on.
we're people. We're not supposed to be
Yes.
robots, right?
You know, I remember when I worked at the gym, it was a gym located in the hospital. Shout out to those guys because I miss you, thinking of you all the time, and I know that you know who you are. Um, but I remember someone walking by me, and it was like a doctor celebration or nurse celebration month or something. So we'd always get free cake. And I remember walking down and eating my cake, and someone like kind of scooted over and like hid their cake. And they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't be showing you this," because I was their trainer. And I was like, "Well, I'm eating it too." I'm just like, I'm not a robot. Like
Yeah.
I honestly eat whatever I want in modification, balance it out throughout the day, throughout the week. And I move a lot. I mean, so to just help people get to that point,
Yes.
like eat the damn cake, eat whatever you want. Go out to eat and indulge in your favorite bacon cheeseburger if you want with a beer. I mean, do all of these things because this is one life that we have. We should be running around like we're on wildfire, just chasing our goals and doing the things that we enjoy in modification to remain healthy, to remain efficient, to remain able to just move around efficiently. So yeah, just going back to the robot thing, like Ailene and I are not robots, and I
No.
won't share any of our conversations that we've had, but we've had emotional conversations back and forth, and it's like, I ate a bunch of cookies today, but I ate a lot less than what I normally would have a couple of years ago. And that's a huge win to
Yes.
us because we're
Yes.
human and we still have our struggles that are internal and they won't ever really go away. But I think consistency is key. I mean, you just have to keep going. Even if you had a bad day, well, pick it up the next meal or pick it up the next day and
Mhm.
keep moving on. Easier
And
said than
just
done, I get it, but
getting rid of a lot of this stigma, right? Like
Mhm.
we talk about both with nutrition and fitness stuff, like, when people are hiding that cake, or I'll have people say this to me, like, "Oh yeah, no, but I shouldn't eat this," or "No, I know that's wrong." And like people just they lead with this assumption, and this is an
Mhm.
industry problem. This is because we are sold so much diet marketing garbage, right? And
Mhm.
just to get rid of the shame, because this is something that we're going to keep saying over and over again. Food has no moral value. Like, you are not a better or worse person based on what you eat, and if somebody judges you for that, it's a them problem, it's not a you
Mhm.
problem.
Right.
What fits into your life, what, and if you don't know, that's what we're here for. But
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
fact is that you're an adult, you can make your own decisions and own them and not have all this shame, right? And like when it comes to fitness, with all the washer board abs in 5 minutes a day, like, come on. I saw a video today that was super interesting. I sent it to you,
Okay.
where he is talking about just more people in this industry have to talk about genetics, not in the sense
Mhm.
of let's fix your genetics, but saying, most of the people that are these big ticket trainers and influencers, yes, these people work hard. Yes, they eat well. Yes, they train. But yes, they also have good genetics. And this
Mhm.
guy, for example, he said, "Look, I'm naturally thin. My parents were naturally thin. I was athletic and involved in sports since I was a kid." And he actually has a, some sort of digestive issue that he actually can't consume a large amount of food. So he's like, all of this is stuff that I can't sell you. Like,
Mhm.
I can't
Mhm.
sell you the fact that I come from a lean family. I can't sell you the fact that I've been working, like training basically, or at least exercising a lot since I was a kid. And he said, I didn't have to learn to enjoy exercise, which is true for a lot of people in fitness.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for a lot of people in nutrition, a lot of people that go into nutrition, they are like foodies. They love to cook their own meals. They love to all this. Now, personally, I'm not a foodie at all, especially when it starts warming up. All I want is snacks. I hate cooking in the
Mhm.
summer. So,
Right,
but
right.
these are things that people don't really talk about, and then you assume. And so the person is selling a program and saying, okay, do this fitness program so that you can look at like me, but they're not counting all of these factors that aren't sellable, right? And the same thing
Mhm,
with nutrition.
mhm.
Oh, okay, buy this cookbook or buy this, subscribe to my monthly recipes and you're going to look like me. But wait, what if I don't like to cook? What if I don't like that food? All that stuff, right?
Right.
So we don't talk about that enough, how, it's that's something that we don't talk about it enough as an industry. We talk about it a lot. How,
Mhm.
it's about you, it's about your life, it's about your body, your preferences. It's not one size fits all, right? Not everybody's the same. All that huge rant.
No, and you're 100% right. And I think you and I both really, really hound on that you just have to find what works for you. And I'm huge into, and this is another thing too that the industry happens to just dismiss or avoid is what worked for you a month ago or even a year ago might not work for you today because
Yeah,
the universe, our world is always changing and evolving, and as are we. So it's okay if we have that trial and error throughout our journey and figure out what works for us. I can tell you, I just went through a huge change in my life, and
mhm.
I'm what worked for me for nutrition and movement even 2 months ago is not the same of what my life looks like today. And I know I'll get back to it, but this is just a different chapter in my life. And to recognize the different chapters and the transitions that you have in your life, and to give yourself grace if you do need to deload. If you need to deload for a day, for a week, for a month, because life is happening, that's okay.
Absolutely.
Still focus on the nutrition, make healthy decisions, move if you can, go for a walk. It doesn't need to be a circuit workout or a powerlifting workout, but just try and maintain everything that you've gained. But it's okay to deload and to declutter your mind and your body. And that's one thing that I think maybe the industry is getting better at, in a sense of giving yourself grace if you need time. But I don't think that we're listening, and I don't think that we're taking that to heart because we still live in such a busy, fast paced world. It's like, why are we celebrating people and ourselves when we say, man, I worked 12 hours today
Oh,
and I have
yeah.
no time for my family or to visit my
Why is
boys'
that good?
soccer game? Like, why are we celebrating that? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry that you're missing out on everything. And then for what? Like, for what? So really just balancing out your life and really figuring out how you want to live this one beautiful life that we're given.
It just reminded me of a song by Billy Joel. It's called "Moving Out," and he talks about like a bunch of stuff, and then he says, if this is moving up, I'm moving out, and that's kind of
Mhm,
what it is. Like, if this is supposed to be great, yeah, I'm out of here.
mhm,
Like, this
mhm,
isn't what.
mhm,
And I
mhm,
love your point, especially for women, right? Because women, our lives change a lot down to the
mhm,
month, right? We have a
mhm,
monthly cycle that
mhm.
changes things. It changes our weight, it changes our mood, it changes our appetite, it changes our energy levels. So, not to mention life cycles, right? Because I mean, to all the men that listen and to all the men in our lives, you guys are amazing. You just don't change as much as we do.
Nope.
It's just there are certain things that just come with being a woman, which are amazing. I'm not complaining. I think it's great.
Yeah.
But the fact is that we change and life changes, the pressures and the needs of the people around us. This changes. And it really is important for us to learn this and respect this and just you know, be okay with a life of curiosity, I think.
Yes.
Saying, okay, this is great for me right now, or this is not working for me right now, and give yourself the grace to find what is best. We get so caught up in the how, right? Like we fall in love with the how to do things when we should really be falling in love with the taking care of yourself, the honoring yourself, the loving yourself, the how you're going to do that's going to change.
Mhm, mhm,
Even our tastes change. I read once, something like we have like a 7-year cycle or something in literally our taste buds. And this is easy to see from childhood to adulthood, like what you liked as a child. It's not the same. I used to love Twizzlers and candy corn, and I cannot stand either one. And
Me.
I was so disappointed as an adult when I finally ate them again. And I went like I had this, I have a memory of being by a pool as a kid and eating one of those massive Twizzlers, you know, the really long ones. And I have a memory of
Yeah.
eating that, and it was so good. And I remember the day I tried them again, and this was like 15 plus years ago that I tried them again. I'm like, I cannot, I cannot take sight of that thing. And I tried it and I was so incredibly disappointed because the memory of it is so good. Like, but
Right.
right, our tastes change, and things that you sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, and my kids don't eat this or that. I'm like, give them time. Like, things change, tastes change, people change, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to give ourselves this grace.
Yes, I definitely agree. And then kind of cycling back to just the industry and touching base on fitness, fitness should be something that we celebrate. I mean, the fact that you can get out of bed with your 2 feet, plant your feet on the floor and then walk around and start your day is absolutely magnificent. And
Yes.
it's not something that we think of every single day, but to the simple movements that we're able to perform every day is definitely a celebration. And I think when we think of our fitness, it's fun to see how we can progress, and it's fun to kind of move around with our intensity level and our challenge level and whatnot. But I get it. Like, fitness definitely is a dynamic that helps you, for sure maintain your weight. If not help you lose weight, it can also help you gain weight as well. So it can help you transition your body composition, which is great. But also just remember that it's a way to really celebrate your body. Do a really challenging move that where you're like, you kind of like, that was really, really hard. And then maybe pair it with an exercise that you know that you're really good at to kind of just, huh,
Yeah.
okay, and then moving on. Um, but I just think it's amazing how well our bodies can move. And if you're one that you don't like get that runner's high, or you don't experience that gratification after exercise, just remember movement. Just movement. What's a
Yeah.
recreational exercise that you like then? Do you like to snowshoe, cross country ski? Do you like to hike? Do you like to rock climb? Do you like to go snowboarding? Do you like to go water skiing? I mean, recreational
Dance.
exercise, I mean, it's movement,
Yeah.
right? You're not sitting in a chair. Do you like to clean? Do you like to clean other people's homes? Do you like to do yard work? Just something where you're moving
Yeah.
around. And then, that strength training is also just so amazing to accommodate those activities to make us stronger and more efficient throughout our day, and then to build that lean muscle mass. And especially for females, we're so prone to osteoporosis, RA, that we really want to make sure that we have those strong muscles, joints, tendons, ligaments, all those fun things. So the industry is it's really big with that advertising and marketing. I just get a kick out of it when I'm at the grocery store and it's like 5 minute 6-pack abs. And I was like, if it was that easy,
Yeah.
obesity wouldn't be such a problem. We'd all be walking around with 6-pack abs. So if it seems too
Absolutely.
good to be true, it probably is. But consistency is key. So
It is.
yes.
Now we're kind of running into the time that we said we wanted to keep this to, but I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Off the top of your head, can you think of a favorite episode of yours?
Mm, hmm. It would, I will,
Yeah.
nothing comes to mind, but probably a newer one because we're a lot better than when our first ones came out. At least for me personally. Like, I don't even want to probably listen to my first 3 episodes of just like, oh, stumbling over my tongue, like just, and it's weird because we knew no one was watching us, but it's still the fact of like
Yeah.
public speaking. I've noticed that when I talk in front of people, I get really red in my neck. And I think it's because I'm so passionate what I'm talking about. Um, I'm not sure, I guess, what would be I liked the phases of training, we're digging into that because I think it's super important for people to know. What was the one right before that? That might have been a good one. I don't know.
Um,
It kind of depends on the day. I come in
one of
confident with a
yours that
bunch of
I've always
coffee.
really, really liked is One More Day. That's a concept
Mm,
you circle back to a lot, and I really
mhm,
like that one. And one of I mean, I have a lot that I really like because I tend to pick and choose things that I really just like talking about.
mm,
But one that is actually one of our most listened to, but I really like it as well, is when we talked about why maintenance is so hard. So that was one that I enjoyed prepping, but I also enjoyed recording that one. Um, so
yes.
that one, the maintenance was season one, episode 7. The One More
Mm,
Day was season one, episode 14.
mhm.
The stages of training, let me find the number here.
I'm going to cut you off. I
Yeah.
think my favorite one thus far is action and maintenance phase.
Okay.
I think
That
that
one
was
was
that
really
was
good.
the
That was
one
season 2, episode
previous.
5.
Yep, that was previous of the phases. So yes, that one sticks to mind. I liked that one. Talking about that one, I
Yeah.
think it was a lot of good information for people to realize like, oh, wow, it takes like
Uh-huh.
9 months for this to stick and then a lifetime to remain consistent. So yes.
Yeah.
What was your favorite though? Are you getting into one?
So for mine, I think why maintenance was so hard, that was one I really, really liked doing. I loved our cancer interview. That was really, really good.
Yes.
Um, and one that I really enjoyed as well was the key to fitness success, or 2 essentials for diet success. Both of these were kind of walk hand in hand because the both of us just saying, what's the one thing that's really important. So these were a few that for me were absolute highlights. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm glad that you asked me a question because I'm like, I really want to ask her a question. And this is the question that I thought of. And I know that we're running out of our time, but what have you enjoyed most about podcasting?
What have I enjoyed most about podcasting? For me, there are 2 things that I really like. There's one that's more internal and one that's more external.
Mhm.
One is just seeing the reach. That is super gratifying for me, is just knowing that there's somebody out there that is benefiting from this and that has never met me, that has never
Mhm.
seen me, and that, gets a chance to hear this. I think that's fascinating. I really, really enjoy that. And the internal one, I would say it's just the learning process, because we talk about the things we know, but a lot of this is just stuff that I can just talk about and go on and on and on. But sitting down to say, what do I really want to say? What's the most important thing for someone to hear? Um, that has been very gratifying for me because it really is, it's pulling into, we just released the 5 foundations of health, and for me it's just pulling into what is the most important part of this, what's all the stuff that I can ignore, but what's really, really important. So those 2 things for me are good about podcasting.
I liked that last part, just kind of sharing your knowledge and your experience and what are the key points within this episode that I really want people to hear to reach and hopefully have an impact on
Mhm.
just even one person's life. I mean,
Yeah,
really, just one person that makes a big difference.
it's
So,
exciting. It's
yes,
exciting.
yes, yes, definitely.
How about you? What's your favorite thing about podcasting? Not being on camera. What else?
Yeah, not being on camera. I would say kind of piggybacking off of your second one of just I've been in this profession since I was 19, 20, and I've been in it for about almost 14, 15 years. So you do the math on my age. Um, but it's just sharing my experiences and my education and my knowledge. I've seen a lot transition and move around in the health industry, but because I've kind of worked with the same clientele over these 14 years, I've found strategies and tools that actually work. And it's like, I just want to share with you of strategies that have proof that have worked for many, many people. Because there is so much outside noise out there. You know, if I could dismiss two things in this world, it would be like that silly outside noise that we've chatted about with like the six pack abs and the
Mhm.
stigma behind nutrition and that type of thing. And then also proper exercise form. I'm a personal trainer for a reason. I think that if you have proper exercise form and you can really execute that exercise, you're going to experience massive gains and success. Although those are like my two big things that I want to explore more of and get the word out. So, my question then, or your answer to your question then, is just impacting lives of my favorite target audience, which is women 40 and over.
Nice. That was fun. All
All
right.
right. I
So
love it.
again, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this community. And we love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to reach out. Neither of us has anybody answering our emails or messages or anything like that. So if you reach out, you're going to hear from us. And yeah,
From
so
us.
thank you. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this community. It's really, really special to us. We love doing this and we love knowing that you're listening and that it is helping you in some way.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. It's so much appreciated. Just thank you. Just from the bottom of our hearts, just thank you so much. We really appreciate you. So,
Happy birthday to us. And here's to a next year that is going to be even better than the last one.
yes, I love it. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.